Good morning, everyone. This is In My Greenhouse Orchid Supply Store. Hi, this is Ken, everyone, and this is segment number 3 of What's in the Greenhouse. This is a slow walk, and on the others, I tried to show you the name of the orchids. This one's going to be a little difficult because they're really packed in here tight. The Phalaenopsis, about half of them do not have tags. And on the Vandas, they're hanging so tight, it's just going to be difficult to pull the names out. So we're just going to take a slow walk and take a look. Okay, we start out here with some bromeliad. These are bromeliads that were pups on larger ones, and I pulled them off and rooted them. And in the spring, they should be very nice. My forever caladium, I guess that's what I'm going to call it, because it's just been around forever. As long as I keep it warm and moist here in the greenhouse, it looks like it's gonna just keep putting off those leaves. So that's perfectly okay with me. In the back there, more bromeliad. These are pups that I did not put in individual pots. I've got maybe 30 crammed down into one pot just to see if they will root there. And we'll come across to the table of Phalaenopsis. These are putting off spikes, putting off blooms. I'm guessing probably half of them have no tag at all. They're here because they're pretty. And we just take another look coming down the table, and you can see several are already in bloom. I got some small ones, I got some large ones, I got some reblooms, one or two back there are blooms off of previous spikes. I like to try to do that if I can, just to see how well they'll do. And a lot of them do nice, others not so nice. Okay, as an example, right here. See if we can get in there. You can see that's off of an old spike. Another one right there. Actually, that's the same plant. It has two spikes, and each of them are putting off. Okay, if you don't know how to do that, what you do is when your Phalaenopsis stops blooming, if it still has a nice looking spike, like this one right here, you cut it just above, and I'm hoping you can see that. You cut it just above a viable bud. Yeah. Actually, cut that one a little bit too high. Here's the bud right here. And with a little luck, it will put out a new spike like this one. So cut it here. That was the bud. And it's putting off. If you're lucky, you'll get a rebloom. Got another one back here. Cut it right there. There was the bud. And here's the spike. So you'll get some reblooms a lot of times. Sometimes it doesn't work, and if not, you just cut it all the way down as you would normally. Okay, I've got to come over here and show you this one. This is the one that is on the mount, and you can see how long that thing is. Very, very beautiful this morning. See if we can get, you can see how large it is. And it's got additional buds that is going to be blooming. It's going to be around for a long time. So that one has really surprised me. Oh, got one right here. Same color. See if I can swing around and get the light behind me. That is the one bad thing about a greenhouse. When you are trying to take some type of picture, the light can really be nasty. Okay, so we come back over here and we go up to the staghorn ferns. Okay. This one, the big one, and the small one, we're going to have a video of me mounting those. Gonna find a real pretty piece of wood and we'll mount those on them. And this one, you can see it's got the brown leaf. You know, staghorn ferns have two types of leaves. They have the green one and they have that brown one. You would think it's dying, but it's not. That's natural. And here come the fans. Good old rabbit's foot. I love this joker. He's so nice. He's just been around for so long and he keeps putting off. So he's going to be here for a while. Down here on the bottom, I have just a few that I have not gone through the repotting yet. So there's about, okay, there's 2 missing, so there's 22 there, 12 to a tray. And I may have said something about this earlier. This is my great mistake. These were, I ordered 3 different types of orchids, and they were just out of the flask. I mean, they were almost a single leaf. And I wanted to try this to see how well I could raise small ones. And one variety has completely died. The second variety, I've got a few left. But then the third variety, looks like they're going to survive. And I still won't make my money back on those. So that was a big loss. You try some things, you lose some things. Okay, Vandas. As you can see, beautiful, beautiful roots. Vandas just hang and pull out of the air. They don't need any type of pot, any type of media. They just get everything they need from the air, with a little help of me, of course, because once a week I give them a good taste of some fertilizer. They also get sprayed with a fungicide mixture and a spray of insecticide. So once a week, all of the orchids, the Vandas and every one of them, yeah, they get fed with some fertilizer. It's a weak fertilizer, you know, because I do feed them once a week. So they get fed the water-soluble fertilizer. So they get sprayed with that. They get sprayed with a mixture of fungicide. Fizan is the main one that I use. And they get sprayed with a mixture of insecticide, and that keeps down any type of pest, but mainly scale. That is the only problem that I have ever had here in the greenhouse, is scale. And I look at the orchids, literally every time I come out. But I came out one day and I noticed one plant had a little bit of scale on it. So I started looking, and its neighbor had scale, and its neighbor had scale. And by the time I finished looking, it was half of the greenhouse. And I said, my goodness, how can something go undetected for so long? And because I look every day, but I missed it. And when it started, it zipped through the greenhouse. And it took me, I guess it took me 3 months to completely eradicate the scale. And the way that I did it is I would take each and every plant one by one that had the scale on it, and I would spray it with alcohol. I use the 90% alcohol. Okay, and take a break there a second. We'll go down to the hostas, and then we'll go out to the Lyrobe. Okay, so I would take each individual orchid, spray it with the alcohol, rubbing the leaves, rubbing off the scale, every single one of those. And it took me several days to work my way through. Then I would come back the next day. Well, actually, it's probably the third day by the time I worked my way through it. So I would come back, start over again, looking at every plant. If it had scale on it, I would set it aside. I would spray it with alcohol. I would rub the scale off. And I did that repeatedly, over and over and over. And like I said, it took about 3 months. And I may have lost a half a dozen orchids total, so not that many. And some of them, by the time it was eradicated, some of them were looking not the best in the world. But now you look at them, I still have most of them. You would never know. I mean, I got it all off, and they're happy. So if you ever get scale, in my opinion, the quickest and certainly the easiest way is get some alcohol. That's what I use right there. Well, that's 91%. I don't cut it. I don't put it with water. It goes right straight into a spray bottle, and I spray it directly on the leaves and rub it off, rub the scale off with it, and repeat. And it worked for me. Well, that's it for segment number 3. Actually, it's going to be segment 3 and 4, because that's all of the greenhouse. Hope you enjoyed this. Didn't have any names, but You know what they are. So if you like what you see, give me a comment and let me know. That's the only way I know if you like what I'm doing. As always, subscribe. If you don't like what you see, subscribe anyway. You might like it the next time. So we're going to do this again and again until I get it right. Goodness knows I'm learning and I'm trying to make it better. So you come back and we'll do it again. See you next time.